Hayden is out for blood when it comes to getting his lick back on Fatima regarding the Tamara setup. And one question just comes to mind. Is he wrong? What's good, y'all? It's your sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And as I mentioned, this video is all about if Hayden is wrong for seeking revenge against Fatima and by proxy Zach after he found out that Fatima set him up with Tamara and Tamara is out to take him for all he's got. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversations, because you're not going to want to. Like, you are a sister super fan and we are having all the conversations that you want to have in detail. Feel free at any point to drop down in the comment section and let me know what you are thinking on this matter. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so how did this all start? It's interesting because Miss Allie Nick, the phenomenal Allie Nick official, if you don't know, another amazing YouTuber who also covers Tyler Perry's Sistas and has really great and insightful breakdowns. I'll link her channel in the description box so that you can go and subscribe if you haven't already. But she was very poignant in pointing out how Hayden did not start out in this universe as a villain. He was actually the nice guy who Fatima was able to recruit because they were childhood friends. They grew up together. They know each other's families, and they happen to now work at this law firm. He's a lawyer. She's a paralegal / assistant. And Fatima recruits Hayden to help Andi at the time where Gary is wreaking all types of havoc over her damn life, and she almost gets fired. Because Hayden steps in, Andi is able to negotiate against her bosses, who were one of which was trying to blackmail her into doing some things that were not ethical and it could potentially cost her lawyer licensure. And she's able to combat that and get not only to keep her job, but a huge financial settlement. And it's not until after this that we actually see that, you know, Hayden has a relationship with Gary because Gary is one of his clients, as well as you get to see Hayden kind of turn and break bad when it comes to Fatima. And this is seemingly brought on because he gets very jealous about Zach, and specifically Fatima's interest in Zach. From early on, once he realizes that Zach is actually a thing in Fatima's life, he starts to try to drive a wedge between them, whether verbally communicating to Fatima that he is not good enough for you, he is low down, he is a criminal, he is that. He goes out of his way to dig up as much dirt as he can on Zach. He tries to set Zach up to get arrested. He does all of these different things, all because he simply does not want Fatima to pursue a romantic relationship with Zach. And that stems from them having a sexual interaction once and him not being able to get over it. Hayden is still very much so still attracted to Fatima. It seems like he has a little bit of immaturity and stunted growth socially. I constantly call him an incel, which is a involuntarily celibate man who tends to cultivate a ton of hate for women because they blame women for not sleeping with them, not desiring them, and never really look inside to say, you know what, am I actually a shit person and that's why nobody don't want to fuck on me? So for me, very early on, when Hayden gets into a place that he gets so aggressive with Fatima, trying to keep her away from Zach, completely ignoring her wishes, because it's one thing to care about somebody and want the best for them and think that they're making a mistake. But at some point, you got to let people live their damn lives and do what they're going to do. You don't get to blackmail them. You don't get to get people arrested. You don't get to make people's lives a living hell because you don't agree with the decisions that they're making in their own lives, because you want to be with them and they don't want to be with you. That's not how this works. But that is how all of this started. And it escalates to the point where Fatima actually has bodily harm caused to Hayden because she is so frustrated with Hayden getting Zach arrested and constantly coming after him and ultimately compromising their relationship. After that, things start to mellow out a little bit, even after Zach and Hayden get into a physical altercation at the law firm, up until Fatima decides to recruit Tamara to seduce him. And her plan is, if Tamara can seduce him, then she can go ahead and distract him and he won't be worried about what Fatima got going on, and definitely won't be worried about what Zach got going on. Lo and behold, that plan actually works. Hayden falls. He falls hard. He's completely distracted and only focused about his job and Tamara. However, the part that Fatima really messed up with is that she decided that she was not going to compensate Tamara for the job that she hired her for. Instead, just giving her sassy ass attitude and disrespect. So Tamara, being the entrepreneurial minded hoe she is, decided that she was going to get paid one way or another, and she took it a step further and not only seduced Hayden to get him to be distracted, but decided to take his ass to Miami or Vegas, get married, so that now she's entitled to half of what he has because they don't have no damn prenup. Fatima finds out about this and wants it to end immediately, and this is where Fatima has to take accountability, y'all. I was with a lot of you guys when you're in the comment section and you're like, well, Hayden started it, it's all his fault. A lot of this is his fault. However, Fatima did let this escalate to the point of like no return. So now I'm looking at it like, yes, I don't like villain Hayden, I don't like incel Hayden. However, I understand him wanting to get his lick back, because not only did you have me beat within an inch of my life, strung up naked on top of my car, embarrassed at my job, but you put me in a position for a woman to seduce me, make me fall in love, think that it was real, only to take my money and completely ruin my life. That's some next level diabolical And no, Fatima couldn't necessarily stop Tamara from going rogue, but had she paid her, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And then once she realized that it started to happen, she should have warned Hayden. I would have been 100% like, Fatima is in the clear if the moment she found out what Tamara's next plan was, if she would have went to Hayden like, look, let me go ahead and level with you. I had did this, and this because you did this, and this. I don't actually want to see you go down like this. This is what Miss Mama's got planned. She could wash her hands of it. She could literally be guilt-free. And we got to see her guilt actually manifest because she stayed quiet. She talked to Zach about how she felt guilty about what Tamara was doing. And Zach is the one who convinced her to not say anything. So that brings us back to where we are now. Is Hayden wrong for wanting to get revenge on Fatima? I'm not necessarily so sure if it's a clear yes or no that he's wrong. Because how does this make Hayden feel? Not only is he now about to go through financial ruin or strain because of this relationship and this gold digger, but she really got his feelings involved on a whole other level. It's one thing for him to have unrequited love with Fatima and her to not reciprocate, and he's conjuring up certain things, and that's like, okay, you deal with your feelings on your own. However, you put him in a place to develop feelings and then a person to pretend like they were reciprocating. That's some whole other type of emotional and biological things happening within the brain. That is rewiring of his brain. So I can understand where anger, frustration, and ultimately revenge will come from for Hayden, because now you messing with my brain chemistry, mama. Now you doing a lot. Now, ultimately, I think that Hayden will be able to get his annulment. So that to me is something that should help temper his revenge arc against Fatima. At this point, his ego and his pride are the biggest things that are bruised. He has not yet lost a ton of money, and you got a bunch of sex out of it. So it's not like it's a complete lose-lose, Hayden, right? It's not that big of an impact. And when it comes to like not seeking revenge, like how it could be an option, I feel like the only way that Hayden could just stop in his tracks and decide to not go through with whatever diabolical plan that he has or he's cooking up, because he seems to think he got the most brilliant plan coming. The only way that he's going to do that is if Fatima apologizes, if she takes accountability, if she apologizes, if she lays the cards out on the table, and they can come to some type of amicable agreements in place. At its core, I really just feel like Hayden's ego is bruised, and up until Tamara actually wins and taking any money from him, they can still go back. Hayden and Fatima might never be friends like they used to be, but they could definitely be cordial if they both decide to let this beef die. What's done is done. So I'm sorry, I don't actually have an answer. I can't say that he's 100% wrong. I can't even say that he's 100% right. But I would love for you to tell me in the comment section down below, is Hayden wrong for getting revenge on Fatima because of the whole Tamara setup? I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you thought about mine so that we can keep this conversation going. There's so many dope videos that I have recently released about season 7 and all the storylines playing out. And YouTube thinks that you would love to watch this video next. So go ahead and click it and let's keep this thing going.
took